her home to find where she belongs. Her mother's kid.
Hey guys, my name is Vaughan and I'm a Melbourne makeup artist. If you've clicked on this video because you want to learn how to do your own bridal makeup, then thank you. And if you've joined me over from Instagram, which I'm assuming most of you have, thank you for following me over here. Please subscribe, I would so appreciate it and I'll be forever grateful. Today I'm going to take you through this beautiful bridal look. It is the second time that I filmed it, but I'm so much happier with this outcome. Just remember, take the tips, use them in a way that applies to you. Another thing that I think is really important to touch on is Melbourne have gone to stage 4 lockdown, so I know a lot of people are probably struggling, so I've left some links and numbers to helplines in the description bar below. Please check them out if you are feeling super down. Talk to people around you, someone that makes you feel good. I'm always an email away, I'm always here to chat. I think it's really important to state that, so do not be ashamed if you're feeling like crap, you're not alone. So without further ado, sorry about the bin in the background. If you want to learn this bridal inspired makeup look, then keep on watching. If the lighting changes, it's because I'm using natural light at the moment, so I do apologize for that, but yeah. Okay, I have to jump in here because I need to say my face, I know it looks a bit blotchy. I really poorly applied face water. I'll pop up a couple of my favorites on the screen. If you're going to fake tan your face, you must use one specifically made for your face, not your body tanning. That's just going to stick to any dryness and any pimples and look horrible. Okay, I'm glad that's aside. Back to the video. Let's get started. So the first and most important step to your makeup is skincare. If you're a bride, I would highly recommend getting in touch with a skin therapist if you don't already have a really great skincare routine. You're going to get the most out of your products if you have the correct products for your skin. If you're just using whatever stuff, your skin will not look as good as it can, and on your wedding day, for your makeup, you want your skin to look the best it possibly can. Having great skin prep and skincare is going to help the longevity and the way that your makeup sits and looks and all the good stuff. Absolutely get in touch with a skin therapist and ask them what is best for your skin type. I highly recommend using cosmeceuticals. They've got active ingredients. Natural stuff isn't necessarily going to do anything, but if your wedding is coming up like in less than a month, I probably wouldn't recommend changing up your products too drastically. You may end up making your skin worse because it needs to detox and purge all the crap that's underneath. But if you are someone and you've got like a few months, then definitely get onto a really good skincare routine. You will thank yourself for it, and also it's going to help you with your aging process, so who doesn't love that? Another really big thing, wear SPF every day if you're going to be outside or near windows and all that jazz. Secondly, stay hydrated. Water is going to make your skin look more plump and more alive and rejuvenated, so get those 2 liters in a day. More if you're exercising, because the more you exercise, the more dehydrated you get. Now that you've got your perfect skincare routine, you should always cleanse, moisturize, serum. Toner's not necessary, I don't think. It's just sort of like a marketing thing. So I've done my skincare, but I'm going to prep my skin for how I want it to look. So I want a dewy base, but I get quite shiny through my T-zone as the day goes on. So I'm going to put a primer down the center that's going to help mattify and blur my oily areas. For the perimeter, I'm going to use a more hydrating and glowy primer. This product is a highlighter, moisturizer and primer in one. Because it does have a glowing effect, I'm going to focus it on the high points of my face and making my way inwards. By massaging it into your face, it's going to help create blood flow to the skin surface and give a more plump look. One thing to keep in mind about this product is that it has a really strong lavender scent, so if you are allergic to lavender, I wouldn't recommend using it. Now, if you have oily skin, you need this product. I'm just placing it through the center of my face and where I find I get the most oily. It helps to blur out any large pores and gives a really nice seamless look to the skin. It has a really velvety finish as well. It has a slightly blue undertone to it, but the more you work that product in, the less that blue appearance is. Makeup sponges are my favourite way to apply foundation. I don't like a super heavy base, so I just use a sponge. Make sure when you use your sponge it is nice and damp so you get this real bouncy sponge. You don't want a hard one. If you prefer a fuller coverage, I would suggest using a paddle brush like this. Just be careful not to leave streaks on your face. Go on with a makeup sponge afterwards to blend. When matching foundation, I like to make sure that the forehead and the chest match. That's what people are going to see when they look at you, not your neck. So I like to make sure that my foundation matches by putting it on my chest and making sure it blends away into my skin. If it blends away into nothing, it's the right colour. I'm using the shade 4.5 in the Luminous Silk. This is a super popular bridal foundation. I generally mix it with different foundations just to customize it per client, but for the sake of the video, I'm using just the one. It's a really buildable coverage too, which I love. Please note that there's no right or wrong way to start your makeup. If you want to start with your eye makeup, you can absolutely do that. Just for me personally, I feel like I get a better idea of how my whole makeup is going to look when my base is on. Not fully done, just like foundation and concealer, and then move on to my eyes. I just think for me it's a better guideline and I don't overdo my eyes. But like I said, there are no specific rules to makeup. If you want to start your eye makeup because you're worried you're going to get fallout, then definitely do your eye makeup first and then go in with your foundation so you can clean up around the areas. So here you can see I've got a big ass pimple and I tried to not put tan over it, as you can see, which just really hasn't helped my case. But I'm just applying some MAC Pro Long Wear concealer directly on top of it. I'd probably recommend going in with a green concealer to counteract any red beforehand. I also forgot to mention, prep your lips because nobody wants crusty lips in their photos or their wedding day. This one is my current go-to. It is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. It's super hydrating, so I always put that on before I get to the rest of my face. To apply my concealer, I'm using a fluffy brush. This is a MAC 217S brush, and I'm just applying it under my eyes in a patting motion just so I don't move the foundation that's on underneath. This is in the shade NW20. It's a bit lighter than my foundation, so it's going to give the appearance of a lifted look. If you really want to combat the dark circles under your eyes, I'd recommend going in with a colour correcting concealer. You'd want to do a peachy shade so that you can counteract any blue and purple tones. You'd want to do that step before you go in and do this concealer that I'm showing right now. Now this extra head on my face is so large and in charge, she deserves a name. I'm calling her Gertrude. Gertrude. And we're just going to cover her again because she didn't want to be covered and she was also starting to peel, so good times. After that semi-traumatic experience, I added in some of my foundation just so that wasn't so highlighted by using the same colour as the concealer under my eyes. When you're trying to cover your blemishes, just make sure that you blend out around the edges because if you go in over the top of the pimple, you're going to pick up the product that you just put down and it's not going to look as covered. So I'm going to do my eye makeup now, but I'm going to do one eye off camera. Keep in mind, these are just techniques that you can use. You don't have to use the same colours. I'll pop up a colour wheel on the screen so you can sort of see what's going to go with your eyes. Take this with a grain of salt and just use it as a guide. So I know it says brown eyes, blue looks really good. If you don't want to rock a blue smoky eye on your wedding day, that's totally fair enough. But maybe try taking a brown eyeshadow that's got like a purpley kind of undertone. So this is the eye look that I've chosen to go with. It is like a peachy, bronzy kind of look. It looks a bit scary now because my face has no dimension whatsoever, but I'm going to zoom in on my eye and show you how it's done. Before applying your eyeshadow, make sure that your base isn't creased. Using a fluffy brush, I don't know the name of this one, it's super old. I'm picking up this really nice warm brown transition shade. Make sure to tap off any excess and then begin in the outer corner of your eyes looking straight ahead so you can see where your crease is and just work this into your crease but keeping most of the colour on the outer corner of your eye. continue to buff and blend the edges away, I like to sort of start bringing it up into my brow bone just so it's not stark white under there. I haven't added any more product, just blending and moving what's already on my eyelid. Personally, for my eye shape, I like to blend upwards and outwards, following the natural curve of my eye. If you've got really hooded eyes, you might find taking the product up this high just doesn't work for you, so practice and see what you think is most flattering for your eye shape. Using a small dome brush, I'm using the Max Precision Eye Brush. I'm going to take the same colour on my bottom lash line, focusing majority of the colour on the outer third of my lower lash line and just blending it. Make sure that the shadow on the lower lash line joins up with the shadow on the top. You can use one shadow to create lots of different dimension and depth to your eye just by the pressure and the amount of product that you put on in particular areas. Changing brushes over, I'm going to use the Sigma E40 brush and dip into this bone coloured matte eyeshadow. To be honest, I did this step first on my other eye, but I forgot to do it. So if you choose to do it before doing your transition shade, that's totally fine. I pretty much just decided to put this on my lid to help even out the skin tone. I get really purpley eyelids. As you're going, just make sure to keep checking your eyes and seeing if they're both the same when your eyes are open. They may not look the same when your eyes are closed, and that's because our eyes are different, and that's okay because you're not walking around with your eyes closed. And if you are, well then you must be a magician or something. Teach me your ways. Anyway, next step, we are adding some more depth to the eye, so I'm going to use the Max Brown Eye Pencil. This product is like an eye kohl, so you can really smudge it and work it in. So I'm just putting it in the outer half of my waterline and working it down into my lash line as well. If you're game enough, do tight line too. It's just going to help the appearance of fuller, thicker lashes, and when we put lashes on, it's going to help them look more seamless. On to lining the top of our lashes now. You don't need to be too precise because we are going to smudge this out, so just keep it really nice and close to the lash line so we don't have any gaps. With a light hand, I'm going to add some more colour to the corner of my eye. As I'm bringing the pencil out to almost like a wing shape, I'm making sure that I follow my lower lash line. With the same Max Precision Eye Brush that we used before, I'm going to buff out the liner. One common mistake that I see a lot of people do is they don't blend enough, so if you feel like you've done enough blending, you probably haven't. Keep going. My eyelids get extremely oily, so to avoid the eyeliner smudging, I'm just going to press over that same shadow that we used through our crease over the liner. I'm now going to apply some lashes. I would normally use individual lashes, but to make this more user-friendly, I'm going to use a strip lash. I'm going to cut this strip lash in half. Strip lashes quite often have a bit of extra band at the end, so make sure you just cut that off. Now you'll be left with this, and the long end is what's going to go on the outer part of your eye, and as it tapers in, that is going to sit towards the center of your eye. Carefully apply some black glue. This is duo glue. If you'd prefer to use a clear glue, you can, but you just want to make sure that you go over that clear glue so you don't see it once your lash is on. Before applying, you want the lash glue to be tacky, so I've just blown on it and let it get a bit tacky, and then I'm placing it on top of my lashes, and then because it's tacky, it's still movable, so I'm going to adjust it in the place that I want it using my tweezers and hands. I'm also going to get the eyelash curler once it is dry and really clamp them into place. Using an eyelash curler is going to help the lashes appear more natural and fit seamlessly in with your natural lashes. Now that they are glued on, I'm going to go in with some extender lash. This is a tubing mascara and my personal favourite mascara for bridal and honestly any makeup, because if you smudge a bit of it, once it's dried, you can just flick it off, which I will show you later on, but make sure you really coat those lashes so they blend in seamlessly with your natural lashes. Here you can see I'm removing the mascara that I accidentally smudged on my eyelid, and it just comes off really easily and doesn't ruin the eyeshadow work underneath. To finish off the eye, I'm going to add in an inner corner highlight using this Mecca Cosmetica Enlightened Lit From Within powder. I'm just going to focus out on the inner corner of my eye, then just bringing what's left on the brush onto my lid. To apply this, I'm using a clean pencil brush. Because we haven't powdered our base down yet, we can clean up around our eyes using some leftover concealer, and that is what I'm doing here, and that is why I love to do my base and then go to my eyes and then go back to my base. I'm going to add some warmth and dimension back to my face. I'm using the Soleil de Tan by Chanel on a brush fuse brush. These brushes are amazing, by the way. And here I'm just showing you where you should contour and how far down you should bring it. So you should be bringing it about to where your pupil is. I'm only really lightly buffing it in because I don't want to move the foundation that's on underneath. Quite often like to stipple it into my skin as well. Just sort of makes it look like it's coming from within rather than just sitting on top of the skin. Make sure you go over your ears because you don't want to have white ears. If you are unsure of where you should be contouring and bronzing, follow the 3 movement that I am demonstrating. If you're really blonde but you want to make sure you don't have a funny white line around your head, make sure you go right into your hairline. Again, if you're super blonde, you'll probably find that your hairline gets orange, so just use your finger to sort of blend it out a bit more. If your hair's going to be up, also don't forget to go right behind your ears. I like a really bronzy look to my skin, so I'm also placing some on the apples of my cheeks. Here I'm just showing you the difference that contouring and bronzing can make to your face. It slims your face, it just brings more warmth to your face, and yeah. If you've accidentally taken your bronzing and contouring too far down, which can actually make you look a lot older, and pulled down, just get your beauty blender that has leftover product on it from when we were doing our concealer and our foundation, and just clean up where you want to remove the excess bronzing. On a smaller fluffy brush, this is again a brush fuse brush, I don't think it has a name, I'm just going to contour underneath my lip just to give the appearance of a fuller lip, and on my nose. When you're contouring your nose, just make sure it tapers off into the beginning of your eyebrow so it looks more natural. Blending away any harsh lines with your sponge. To help lift my eyes, I also like to add some slight contouring following the direction of my eyeshadow up into my temples. Using the larger end of this double-ended brush, I'm going to work the product of this cream blush from Napoleon Purtis into the brush, and then I'm going to place it on the apples of my cheeks. If you don't know where the apples of your cheeks are, smile and then just work your way up towards your temples. I like to add some blush to my chin and my forehead as well. Funny how we put foundation on just to get rid of the redness and then we just put it back in, the irony of makeup, hey? This is the Becca Cosmetica Champagne Pop Highlighting Drops. I absolutely love them and I've almost gotten through it. As you can see, I'm absolutely devastated. I'm going to apply a drop of it on the back of my hand and then just using my fingers to work the product into the high points of my face. I like to follow a C from my cheekbone to my temples and just above my brow. I'm also going to take it in between my eyebrows, on the tip of my nose and on my cupid's bow. Now that I'm done with all my cream products, I'm going to go in and set my face using the Laura Mercier translucent powder on the same Sigma E40 brush that we used. Make sure there are no creases where you're about to set and tap off any excess. Personally, I'm not a baker, I just think it makes your makeup look worse, and at the end of the day, if you're going to touch your face and your makeup is not going to last, the biggest tip I can give for having long wearing makeup is just do not touch your face. Be really aware of touching your face. Some people don't even realize they're doing it, but that is the main thing that's going to keep your foundation lasting the longest. To avoid creasing, personally, I just say use a clean finger and press the product back into your face. Don't swipe, always press. It's the only thing that's going to help you unless somebody has a miracle thing that they know to stop your makeup from creasing. If you've got fine lines, wrinkles, pores, anything like that, your makeup will settle into your creases. That's just the way it works. With baking, it's adding a lot of powder, which is going to make your skin look super dry, so I always think starting off with less powder is better and then just touch up with more as the day goes on. If you start off with lots of powder, your natural oils are still going to come through and you are still going to need to touch up, especially if you're an oily skin type. To set my bronzer, I'm going to use the same brush that I used to set my base. I'm going to use this part of the brush to do my contouring as it sort of has an edge on it that I'm going to use. I'm absolutely shocking at describing what I mean, so if you're confused, just drop a comment and I'll try my best to explain down there. Using a blush brush like this will help work with you rather than against you because it kind of follows the natural curve of your face. We are already really glowy, but if you want to amp up that glow even more, I'm going to use the same highlighter. I love this highlighter that I use on my inner corner highlight and the same Sigma E40 brush. We are so close to being done, we just need to do our eyebrows and lips now. So with my eyebrows, I like to use a brow balm. This is from Makeup Weapons. All you need to do is wet it. I like to use a setting spray and then really massage my spoolie into it and brush up my eyebrow hairs. By brushing up your eyebrow hairs, it's going to really show where you're missing hairs and where you need to fill in. So this avoids you from overfilling them and making them look completely unnatural. Unless of course you like that, but that's not really my thing. I like to use an eyebrow pencil. I just feel like I have much more control and they're quite forgiving if you need to blend anything out if you've overdone your eyebrow. I like to start in the arch of my brow and do hair-like strokes. I then use a spoolie to help blend my eyebrows and just repeat the process until I'm happy. So filming this, I think I've come up with my new favourite lip combo. This is MAC's Strip Down Lip Liner. It's one of my favourites. I'm just going to slightly overline my lips. I'm also going to fill them in. Once I've done that, I'm going to give my lips a little bit more of a contour using the Mecca Max Pout Pencil in Super. It's just a darker lip liner. Okay, I use this product on almost every single one of my clients. It is the Mecca Lip Deluscious in Nude and it is a tinted lip balm. It's seriously amazing. I get the driest lips, so if it was my wedding day, this is what I would have on hand, probably over a lipstick. It's just going to keep your lips nice and hydrated. Nobody wants to get their photos back with crusty ass lips. Finishing off my face, I'm going to use a setting spray. I just love using a setting spray at the end. I don't actually know if it does anything, but it makes me feel like any powderiness is taken back and gets my skin feeling super nice and fresh again. Now, this is totally optional, but if you have a glowy face, I think it's good to have a glowy chest to match, especially if you're wearing something that's low cut or off the shoulders. This is the Bang & Body Illuminating Firming Lotion. It has little gold reflex in it, and although you'd probably think they smudge and transfer onto your clothes, surprisingly it doesn't. I don't know how that works, but it just doesn't. I decided I wanted to be even more glowy, so I'm using that same highlighter that I used on my face on my chest as well. Okie dokie guys, so this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this. I really enjoyed filming it. I'm so glad I filmed it again because I actually way prefer this look. Obviously take what you want from this tutorial, so change the colours up according to your need. Change whatever you want, change the techniques. This is just a guideline. There are no rules to makeup, so do whatever you want. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a big thumbs up so I know, and comment down below. If you do this tutorial, don't forget to tag me on Instagram so I can see. Don't forget to subscribe for more makeup tutorials and just lifestyle stuff in general. I hope you loved it, and turn the notification bells on too.